Good day, Kevin here. I had a good friend of mine ask me to demonstrate a PDF editor software that I have. I purchased this a couple of years ago. It's called Foxit PDF Phantom, and it's a software that I purchased, downloaded. It is licensed, so you buy per seat. It was only around $100. I've had it about 3 years. My boss was apprehensive on purchasing it, so I bought it with my own money. And glad I did. It's best $100 I ever spent. So basically, how the software works is it's a software application that you have to install on a hard drive or your standard laptop. The laptop that I'm using has 16 gig of RAM. It's an i7 7700, 2.8 gigahertz. My Spyrex Sarco issued computer is an i7 6600 with 8 gig of RAMs, and a 2.6 gigahertz processor. So I've only used it on this machine. This is a pretty good machine. It's actually a gaming computer. Solid state hard drive works really well. It's very fast. So anyway, so you install the software. It is licensed. They have a I'm trying to think where I'll find it maybe along our journey, but there's an act you can deactivate it. So let's say this machine dies, I can deactivate or call Foxit, and they can transfer licenses. So if you have a computer that fails, you can reactivate the same license. They do have I think subscription based as well as purchase based. It's all on their website. But basically, I'm showing an example of a package that I made. This was it was a submittal slash install and operations manual that I made for this particular customer, and I'll just kind of buzz through and show you how I made it. So when Foxit creates multiple PDFs, they call it a binder. So this is what the finished product looks like, but I'll kind of show you how I got there. I've actually got the finished product open. So here's the job name and the IOM, and this is the binder. This page one I created from a blank sheet. You can add to this, subtract to this. It's extremely powerful. Page two, this was a drawing that I made in Visio. And in Visio, I said print to PDF. And then I took this and combined it with other PDFs. So this is a Visio that was turned PDF. These are technical specs from the actual manufacturer. These are PDFs. You'll see here I put an item for item A. So that way this correlates with, here's my item A there. So you can make it very, very flexible and concise. I made this job package, gave it to the contractor, said, okay, this is what it needs to look like when it's all done. Here's all the components. Here's your cut sheets for everything and your IOMs. Call me when you're done. So here's, specifications. Let me just zoom out a little bit. You might see that, I'll just kind of buzz through here. Here's a space where, okay, they didn't have this model, so I crossed it out. They have this model, so I highlighted it. Here I put the actual model number, so it's easy to figure out. You'll see like skips and pages. If there are certain pages that are totally useless for this application, you can delete them. You can go over here to the index and say right click and say I can delete the page, I can insert a page, all kinds of different options. I can format the page numbers, renumber everything. So here's another example. This was a transmitter. They're not using that. I could have deleted this whole page, but I just did a quick draw the line. This was a calibration report that was done in Excel that converted to PDF. I added this onto there. Here's another cut sheet, install manual, cross those lines out. I'll kind of buzz through some of the features. I added a text box. Going kind of through the options. I can do, and I don't use a lot of the features, but from what I've used so far, it's been extremely wonderful. You can resize it. You can edit the text. So if I actually really wanted to, I could go in and say, okay, I don't like that word. You can go in and edit text. If you make a mistake, you can hit your back button, back out of it. You can add text. I usually use the comment. I use this tab quite a bit, so if I want to add just basically verbiage, I can put typewriter here and add stuff that I'd like, or if I'd like that to have a border, I can do comment and then text box, so I can make a text box and put stuff in there. I can make this opaque or transparent. I can change the colors, the fonts, all kinds of good stuff there. Yeah, I can change line color, type, font. Another thing I like is this area highlight. I can drop and drag any kind of highlight item I want. And if I hit, let's see, if I hit this, then I can change the color. If I like, sometimes I'll have, item A is all green, item B is blue, item C is red, whatever. You can make different colors. Sometimes I'll have the same item be part of 3 different components. So on my quote, I'll maybe have, this item is red. On the second line, it might be the same item. That could be green, and then when I get to this place here, I'll put a little green, a little red, a little pink, so that way they know this item goes with three different components of the quote. It does have protection features. I haven't really dove into this, but I can certify it, stamp it, put digital IDs on it, put a password on it. I haven't really used a lot of those features. The big thing that I like is being able to merge and modify existing PDFs. So I'll just show you kind of a little bit about how that works. So here's my binder. That was everything that I put all together. I kept the old files just for reference. So here we have a whole bunch of PDFs. I can grab a PDF or a JPEG or even a Word document, highlight all 3 of these, and I say combine files into Foxit. So then it will create a new little bar here, and it'll take all these files, and I can reorder those. So when I make these files, I usually put a number on them. For whatever reason, it doesn't always put it in the right order that I want. So I can then pick a bunch of files, say, yes, I want to merge all those into a single PDF. You can add a table of contents. It doesn't do that good of a job, so I usually don't do that. So let's just say, for example, I'm going to grab all these guys, hit convert. Now it'll take all of those, and it creates what's called a binder. So this binder now has those 4 different files that I merged together. And I can go back to here and say, okay, well, I don't want these 2 pages. I can say right click, delete page. Yep, I can do, let's say I'll do 3 to 4. I don't want those pages. It checks out. I sure want to do that. Yeah, okay, I can always go back. Oh, here's another page. I should have got rid of that too. So I can do onesie twosie or do them in batches. I can be humming along here and say, oh gosh, I forgot something. I want to add something to this. So at any page, I can right click on here and say insert pages, and I can do it from a file or folder or from an open file. So if you'll see I've got other open files here. I can say, oh, I want this guy here. Let's add that there. It'll ask you, okay, I got to save it. Fine. Okay, I might be going a little fast. So I'm going to just save that there. Okay, so I'm going to add it. So now I've added that same, forgive the content, I'm going a little fast here, but it's just demonstrating what all this can do. So I can add, erase, renumber. I can move sheets around if I want. I can put this sheet in front of that or move this in front of that or behind it. I can reorder things, and then when I have it all the way I like it, I can say format page numbers and say, okay, from the beginning, start at 1, 2, 3, renumber all the pages. So it'll renumber all of these guys. Another beautiful feature that I like is I can import from other things. My boss had a PDF that was built from a spreadsheet. It had hundreds of columns and rows and data that was in PDF form, but it was we wanted it to put it in Excel. And you can import. I'll see if I can find it here. You can. I might have to find it here. I know it can be done. It's been a while since I've done it, but you can take a PDF and import it, and it'll turn it into Excel. Let's see here. Another nice feature I like is stamps. So let's say I'm working on this, and first I'm going to edit. I can do edit text, which I can go in and edit text, or I can do edit. Sometimes I like using edit all. This was a stamp that I made. I'm going to get rid of this and say, okay, I'm going to put this in its place. So I get rid of that stamp, and I go over here. And you can make, there's all kinds of pre-canned stamps. You can sign it if you want. I can go like this. I usually make these large and then shrink them down so it gets nice resolution. So I can sign this, and I can also say, oh, okay, I want to put all my contact information on there. Boink, there we go. You'll notice I do have Spyrex Arco logos. However, I do not use those because of the logo compliance branding. You have to be careful what size that is, how many millimeters across and up and down. So I don't typically use those. Most Spyrex stuff has logos on it. So here is that. Again, I can create all kinds of stamps, signatures. You can watermark this. Like I say, there's a lot of features that I haven't really used yet. I can draw arrows pointing to things. Right click on there and go properties. Where did you go? That line is a little big. Properties, or I can say, oh, that's way too thick. I want it at a 1. And then you can say select set current properties as default. So if you need to make a bunch of red arrows, red lines, you change that to red and make red lines all day long. Those are kind of the big features. Can't think of anything else right now, but anyways, just wanted to demonstrate this. It's been a wonderful tool. Best $100 I ever spent. After I've gotten to use this, I actually like this better than Adobe. It seems a little easier to use. The learning curve was a little while, but they do have a built-in manual. If you hit F1, I believe it's F1, it will pull up an online manual. Should pop up here. It is a little intensive of a program. I don't know how this would work on a regular spinning hard drive computer. I've got a solid state hard drive, so that might have angered it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it does have a built-in. Just minimize that. Let's see, where did it go? I might have angered it here and gone a little too fast, but it does have an online manual. The Foxit folks have videos on how to get to use it, that kind of stuff. I've been extremely happy with it. That's it for now. Give me a holler if you have any questions. I'll put my contact info back in there again. Stamp, Kevin. Oh, I put my picture on there. All right, didn't need that. Stamp, Kevin. There we are. Thanks. Have a good day.